we're going to be exploring something pretty wild. The connection between the 7 churches, from the book of Revelation, major historical civilizations, and the 7 chakras.
Wow.
All together.
Okay.
Our source material actually frames all of this as a journey of self-knowledge and spiritual evolution, which I have to say is a pretty cool way to kind of look at all of these ancient concepts all woven together.
It's really intriguing how the source connects these seemingly different ideas.
Right.
Like you said, biblical text, history, this energy system of the chakras.
Yeah.
And it suggests a very holistic approach to spiritual growth.
Right.
We're not looking at these isolated beliefs, but how they might fit together into a larger journey.
Right. So we're going to try to weave all these things together as we go through this deep dive. All right. So let's jump right in.
Okay.
The first church mentioned is Ephesus. Right.
And it gets this message about losing its first love. Now, the source kind of links this to civilizations like the Sumerians and Egyptians who accomplished a ton materially.
Yeah.
But maybe they lost some of their spiritual core along the way.
That ties right into the root chakra, which is all about, our foundation, a sense of stability and grounding.
Right.
You could say Ephesus losing its first love represents a disconnect from its spiritual roots.
Yeah.
Even while achieving success in other areas.
Yeah.
It's like building a luxurious mansion on a shaky foundation.
Right.
Eventually, that instability is going to catch up to you.
So it's kind of like if Ephesus is about checking our foundation, making sure we're building our lives on solid ground. Right. Smyrna brings up a whole different challenge.
Right.
Resilience.
Okay.
This church represents suffering and persecution.
Right.
Which the source connects to the historical struggles of the Arab and Jewish peoples. And those historical struggles resonate with the energy of the sacral chakra, which is about our emotions, our creative force, and how we cope with adversity.
Yeah.
What's really interesting is that the source suggests that even in the middle of hardship, faith can be a wellspring of strength and even creativity.
Wow.
Think about how much incredible art and music has emerged from communities facing oppression.
Wow. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Ephesus reminding us to check our foundation, Smyrna highlighting the power of resilience even in dark times. Now let's move on to Pergamum, the third church on this journey.
Right.
This one's all about resisting temptation in a corrupt environment, which the source compares to historical Babylon.
Okay.
A city known for its, shall we say, indulgences.
Babylon definitely had a reputation.
Right.
And it serves as a powerful contrast to Pergamum's message, which is all about holding on to your values, even when surrounded by influences.
Right.
That might pull you off course.
Okay.
This connects to the solar plexus chakra, which is all about personal power, willpower, and self-control. It's that inner strength to stand up for what you believe in.
Right.
Even when it feels like everyone else is giving in.
So for our listener, if you're feeling pressured to compromise your values, to go along with something that just doesn't feel right, that's where your solar plexus energy comes in. It's about having the guts to say no and stay true to yourself, even when it's tough. Now, this next church, Thyatira, brings up a really interesting challenge.
What's that?
How do we deal with false teachings or ideas that try to lead us astray? The source links this to the Zoroastrian concept of good versus evil, light versus darkness. A pretty classic battle, right?
Absolutely. And this battle is playing out within us all the time.
Right.
Thyatira's struggle is a great metaphor for the work we need to do to purify our own hearts and minds.
Okay.
This is where the heart chakra comes into play.
Right.
It's not just about love and compassion, but also about discernment. Being able to recognize what's truly nourishing for our souls and what might be harmful, even if it appears attractive on the surface.
It's a really important point. It's like we need to develop a filter
Right.
for all the information and influences coming at us to make sure we're not letting anything toxic take root in our hearts.
Exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of things that can appear healthy on the outside, but might be hollow within, let's talk about Sardis.
All right.
The fifth church, it's described as appearing alive but being spiritually dead inside.
Right.
The source draws a parallel here to the outward grandeur of Greek and Roman societies, which often masked a potential for inner emptiness.
Interesting.
It's a good reminder that appearances can be deceiving.
Absolutely.
Just because something looks impressive on the surface doesn't mean it's truly alive and vibrant beneath.
And that brings us to the throat chakra.
Okay.
Which governs communication, authenticity, and expressing our truth. Sardis's message is a call to align our actions with our words.
Right.
To ensure that our inner beliefs are reflected in how we live and interact with the world.
So this is where it gets really personal, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's asking us to be honest with ourselves. Are we living authentically?
Right.
Is there a gap between our inner world and how we present ourselves to others? It's a question that probably resonates with a lot of people, especially in this age of social media.
Right.
Carefully crafted online personas.
It's a challenge that transcends any particular era.
Right.
And speaking of challenges, let's explore Philadelphia.
Okay.
The sixth church.
Right.
This one represents faithfulness and perseverance. It's about being small.
Right.
Much like those early Christians, spreading their message amidst skepticism and even hostility.
It's a classic underdog story.
Yeah.
Facing obstacles, but staying true to your path. I love those.
Yeah.
But how does this connect to the chakras?
Right.
And the whole idea of purifying the heart?
Well, Philadelphia's story is all about trusting your inner compass.
Okay.
Even when the external world throws you curveballs.
Right.
This aligns with the third eye chakra, which is associated with intuition, spiritual insight, and seeing beyond the limitations of the physical realm.
So if you're facing a tough decision or feeling lost or uncertain about which direction to take, Philadelphia's message is to tune into that inner wisdom, that gut feeling that often knows the way, even when our minds are full of doubts. It's a reminder that we all have access to this inner guidance system.
Yeah.
And sometimes the most important step is to simply trust it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with that, we arrive at Laodicea, the final church on our journey.
Right.
This one is known for its complacency, its lukewarm faith, which the source suggests is something that modern day spiritual seekers need to be wary of as well.
It's like a wake-up call, isn't it? A reminder that we can't just coast on autopilot when it comes to our spiritual lives. We need to actively cultivate that connection, that inner fire.
And that brings us to the crown chakra.
Right.
Which is about our connection to the divine, to a sense of higher purpose and meaning.
Yeah.
Laodicea's message is a stark reminder to reject complacency, to awaken spiritually, and to seek a deeper connection with something greater than ourselves.
So if you're feeling stuck in a rut, spiritually speaking, or like your faith has become more of a routine than a vibrant source of meaning, Laodicea's story is an invitation to shake things up, to rekindle that sense of awe and wonder, and to actively seek that connection to the divine, however you define that.
It's a powerful message.
Yeah.
And one that leads us to the heart of this whole exploration, the purification and transformation of the heart itself.
Right. And that's a great place to pause for now.
Okay.
But this journey is far from over. We'll pick it up next time.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Okay.